So if you do a critical and you cut off a creature's leg or something like that, it'll still happen. You just
And
gotta. We'll describe it in the attack effects, and if that creature lives and gets away, you might recognize that creature. You know, you see a scorpion that's missing a leg, or you see a dude that's missing an eye, or you see this worm that has like two teeth missing out of the front of it. You know, so it makes it kind of more interesting when enemies might return.
I keep I
Yes, we
keep
are live.
kind of
I didn't see the intro thing, but we are live.
bouncing the idea of using lingering injuries, but
It's a lot of fun.
well,
This is me kind of trying it out. So
It's the
for
Villains
those
Talk
that are with us, welcome to the
Show.
talk show. We're just going over some background
We
rules.
are actually live. I actually got it to work.
Are we
I'm
live on the
so
YouTubes? I
happy.
don't know. I'll check real
Are we
quick.
live on YouTube too? If we are, then I did it. And I would.
Yes we are.
Oh my god, I
All the
did
two
it!
shots.
I finally
oh,
did it.
We'll have to
I
work out
should.
the title names because they still say cosmetics and but yeah,
What?
still good though. At least you did the thing.
Yeah.
Are you doing XP for
There you go. Now
leveling
cheeks.
or
We're
milestone?
we're
Or
kind of doing milestones, but
Yeah,
XP
we're
is
good.
relevant. So if you want to track XP
We're good.
and you feel like you're kind of at a point where you feel like we should level up, I'll take that into consideration. So
We're
go
good.
ahead.
because
Your
if I want to talk my way out of the situation,
like right now you're level 3 and John and Caden are not. But once they get out of the cave, they will be level 3.
Hello and welcome to the
Hello
Villains
and
Talk Show
welcome.
and Podcast.
This
This
is
is
me
Friday,
explaining.
and it's
This
Two
is
Shot
Friday.
Fridays.
This is me explaining some of the two-shot rules for
And
this
we're at
one we're doing.
part 2 of Insaniacs 2 part 2 Insane 2 part 2.
The two-part harder. That's too insane to two-part. You're harding two-partness. Live two-part or die
this is the
or
kind
die part 2.
this is the
What?
kind of stuff we miss when you're not on the podcast.
I know.
This beautiful
I'm feeling better today. And I
2-part
appreciate it.
harder. Oh,
Two-part harder.
yes.
The
Yes.
hardening of the two parts.
That needs to be the name of a porno and yesterday.
It probably is.
The 2-part harder.
If I'm saying it now, somehow it's probably a thing somehow.
I hope so.
I have no doubt. If you know about it, sure to send it to to C4. I'm sure he'll.
I am C4. Below me is Insaniac, and beside us is our special guest for these 2 shots. It is Jan the Viking. It'd be Jan the Viking Ness at Viking it Viking.
Yeah, I'm not the
Viking
Thane-
wife.
Thane Yon.
What do they call them? Shield maiden.
Jarl Yon.
Jan the
Jarl
shield
Yon.
maiden, because
Yo-
the Viking
Jan the
is
Jarl.
the Viking
I like-
is Sarah.
I like Yon the Jarl.
Jan the Jarl. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Jan the Jarl.
Pico Jarl Jan.
No,
That works too.
No.
But Yon the Jarl sounds a little more apropos.
It does.
Today we are kind of finishing off a little bit where we had yesterday. Caden, the greasy boy, will be joining us in a short minute. He's just kind of doing a few things. So in the meantime, we'll be describing some of the things that he goes through. As this setup is made for people to come and go, as they kind of as we do our things. Hopefully, I don't know when we'll be coming back to do this 2-shot again. If we do, we'll be hopefully continuing it again.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest, guys. I'm just so jazzed. I finally got it to work. The multi-string.
I'm impressed. John, did you look over the loot that you guys had found?
No, I'm so jazzed.
Great.
Please. Yes.
Great.
Oh, the what you send us? Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
So Insaniac sent us a loot table over the week. I did look it over.
Yeah, things that they had found on the guy that who tried to fight them at the end, but eventually got his butt kicked.
I also found out that my pixie, according to the rules, is actually like a 4 to 3 foot tall humanoid, and I'll be honest, that broke my heart a little. I gotta say,
But
guys.
you have enlarged reduce, so you can use it to become tiny, right?
I know, but
The idea is that pixies they're not naturally that size all the time. They use that magic, at least in
that's
D&D.
stupid. They should always be that size.
What?
Anyway,
I thought that pixies were.
Yeah, well these are fairies. They're not pixies, right?
Doesn't
They're
matter.
different.
Doesn't matter. Rainbow Pixie
Sorry,
Starshine.
I'm sorry. You can't be.
Yeah, they are small, not tiny.
You can't be like the Zelda Pixie or like Tinkerbell.
I know. I just wanted people to listen to me. All right, please
I'm
continue.
sure. I'm sure that. So, um, where we left off, we had a kobold and a pixie who were very grizzled of stature, had beaten down this mercenary man who had kind of cornered these two into what was called a mace mole nest, and eventually he seemed to have had them here as the cave around near the entrance decided to somehow caved in. Sounded like explosions would be my guess. As the man
Okay.
had talked
Okay,
into
okay,
into
I guess
he I had explained that as he had talked into a radio, to which you do hear shortly after, like, I can't remember what the guy's name is. Notes everything. As you hear a female voice kind of call through and says, mission accomplished 10-4." And as that you hear that as this guy's kind of going down when you're finished going over his corpse, where you had seen this pale, slightly like multicolored robed-ish figure fall out of essentially, it looked like the roof of the cave, but essentially a doorway that's completely water had made itself like had appeared, and this character fell out completely backwards, ass over key color, and hit the dirt, and like sand everywhere. It's just like, oh my goodness, like can't believe the unruliness of the undead. So no decorum this day. He brushes himself off, and Jan, if you'd like to describe yourself, you've kind of been sitting in the corner of this cave, slightly like you got kidnapped by one of these mace moles, and the town was supposed to come save you, but you sense maybe it's these guys, and you're not sure what's happening, but you're in a kind of like in a smaller alcove, and you saw this guy come in, these three people come in, one guy talked on the radio, and he started fighting the other two, and then all of a sudden this pale figure came out of like this water door and just ate shit in the sand, beside this nest of like a couple of eggs, as the
I
cave kind of rocked for a bit and it settled down.
tied up and gagged
No,
and shit like that, so I can't.
no, so these creatures, they kind of kept you here. What you felt was in a sense of food, but then you seemed they sense you were very like vulnerable and defenseless in a certain way, that they ended up bringing you into the cave while you somehow fell unconscious. You don't quite remember how you got quite to the cave, but you just remember these moles with essentially like a spiked mace looking face had brought you here. You're not really sure why, but you wake up. You're not bound or anything. You're just a little dirty, and you've been kind of sitting here for like a minute or two as this ruckus has woke you up essentially.
Well, I am a.
And just as this is kind of happening, you also see the little kobold is like talking. He stops for a minute. He starts talking to his finger, and Starshine sees this, and all of a sudden, he like gets. You see this kind of red hand, like fingerish, grab around his finger, and he suddenly gets pulled into the ring, and he disappears, and the ring just sits there as it falls to the ground.
Hmm.
Well, I am a fairly young-looking, uh, very slight fellow with long, luxurious golden hair and
So you pretty much got
shockingly,
like most of
shockingly good
your entire
looks.
setup. You're just a little dirty looking from the sand. That's really about it.
Yeah. Honestly, quite shockingly good looks. Um, would I have had everything I have taken, or do I have it all on?
No,
Or...
you still have all your armor and everything. You
Okay.
haven't been like disarmed at all. You
Alright.
just look like you've been pushed into some like random corner and sand and dirt have fallen on you.
Um, so I'm wearing this very it's pure white chainmail with a beautiful blue cloak on, made of the finest looking satin, and it's got a nice ermine fur neck piece on it.
Might also have like a symbol of your house on it somewhere. On the
Maybe.
inside or the back, maybe, who knows.
Maybe. Um, and as you see me, I pull out a mirror and start examining it and uh, wiping all the dirt off my face and trying to make myself look presentable.
You find that the light here is not pleasant to whatever you're looking in the mirror for. Your eyes are having a tough time to adjust, but you're slowly kind of able to see yourself.
I cast light on my hair.
On your hair. Alright. Yeah, this just blonde hair just kind of lights up the room. As like this yellow figure kind of brushes himself off and looks at like this pixie standing there and then immediately looks at this bright light and what does Pixie Starshine do? Let's see. All of a sudden this room kind of starts to glow. After your friend disappeared into a ring, or at least your comrade you came here with.
What's the room look like?
You're in a cave. Like it's like probably like 30-ish by 45, kind of like hard to explain, like round but rhombish kind of style room, and with a few pockets. And there's the one area you came from. It leads a bit to the kind of like ground, but most of it seems to be caved in by a series of rocks.
How tall's
You got
the
that
roof?
small nest of eggs. The roof, it's about 45 feet.
If I fly up there, is there anything up there?
There's rock and stone. There
Um,
was that water door you saw has disappeared. There's no, then there appears to be no water from where that door once was.
Is there another exit? An obvious one.
Not from what you can see. The area you just came from is like
All
been
right.
completely
Well,
caved in.
since I have this extra light, I will start looking for any kind of exit. Starting around where that water door was.
Okay. Yeah, you walk over to where the yellow guy is, and you're like kind of like
Oh,
you
I'd
went
be
up to the roof to
flying.
look down, and then yeah, you're flying up to the roof, and then you kind of went over to look at the space, and like the yellow guy kind of looks up, and he's like, "That's pretty neat. You can fly. Pretty cute." And he looks at the bright. He looks at the one with like the bright hair, and he says, "Hello," and he just kind of waves his hand over to you.
Hello, my yellow friend.
You notice he's like a gith of some kind you're not familiar with like Banky Uzura, you're not sure.
Oh, I doubt I would be.
He's got the
Hello,
yellow
my
kind of black dots on his face.
yellow friend. Who might you be?
Ah, names are very hard for me to remember these days, you see. I am the Wujin, you see. Some know me, some do not, but that is okay.
The
And he like
Wujin, you say?
he takes like a bow.
I
And
bow.
you see like his clothes, they're not really like really shiny or anything, but he's got like noticeably like silk and like really wouldn't say fine, but very like well made clothing. Aside from it kind of being dusty from the sand now, and then you see he's got like this silverish necklace that dangles from his neck as he bows down. He's got this like bluish yellow crystal that kind of like floats in the middle of his forehead. It's not like on his forehead, but it's just kind of there and just kind of hovers around as he bows. You kind of notice the difference because when you see the perspective as he looks at you.
I bow in return, my cloak billowing dramatically. That is a glorious name, my friend.
You hear in your mind, oh, he is a very old man, that one. Oh, much respect. Good on you, son. It's from your kind of like in the back of your head.
I thank you, grandfather. And you, my small flying friend. What brings a glorious adventurer such as yourself to this wonderful cave?
Do I see anything, by the way, in the cracks?
Roll me a perception check. Actually, well, if you're looking a little deep, we'll say investigations. Up to you. If you're taking a bit more time, I'll give you investigation on it.
Definitely
Depends.
will do investigation over perception.
Okay. Yeah, so you'll be kind of like if you find one, you'll be taking a little bit more time to
That's an
investigate it.
18 over a 17, so I'll take the 18.
All right, yeah. You notice like what background are you again? You're Outlander.
I
Yeah.
am
Okay.
Outlander, yes.
So as someone who's kind of familiar-ish with the terrain, you stayed in a cave or two before, so you kind of recognize like there is a crack or two. There's got to be a way that air can ventilate through here, perhaps through the cave that
Um,
the entrance you just crumbled. So there might be a way or two. You need to notice a few cracks
I do
or
have
so going up.
Druidcraft as my cantrip for my class.
Yeah, yeah,
Could
you were
I
telling me about
like, if I feel air, could I like try to maybe use Druidcraft to like maybe put moisture in the rock? Because it lets me create plants, right? So I would
Yeah,
assume it lets me aerate at least a little bit of ground and see if I can like maybe
I would
make.
say with a bit of time, you might be able to find a specific area, but because you kind of not that you rolled bad, but the roll you gave, you figured out that there is some kind of error in the space of where you are, but you're gonna take like maybe another turn or two to kind of look around at it and investigate a bit more.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you'll definitely. I'm gonna look at Druidcraft right now because sometimes I'm not familiar with what all the spells do, and see
Hmm.
kind of to that extent what.
It lets
By the way, does
you.
John's character look injured, particularly injured?
He doesn't seem to be too injured in a sense. He does seem to
I
have what
am
looks to be
injured.
like,
I am injured.
um,
The answer is
well,
yes.
he looks like you watched him have a scuffle with this man.
Mm.
During the time you did see he took a like a knife wound to the leg that would have hurt him quite a bit, but he did take the time to wrap it up. But he still is looking a bit weathered in a certain sense.
Oh, my friend. If I may, allow me to tend to your injuries. I cannot let glorious adventurers such as yourself uh go around with wounds like that.
Pixie boy. I feel like he missed all of that.
I'm focused on what I'm doing.
Just chooses to ignore you.
I'm not choosing to
Oh.
ignore you. I just.
How far away is
My first
like is
thought
he
is.
up in the air or
So yeah, he's about 40 feet in the air. He's flying
uh
around and you see the Wujin while he looks at him, he looks over and he walks over to the ring where the kobold kind of like disappeared into, and he picks it up and then he starts just kind of looking it over while you're kind of talking to him.
um
You can roll another we'll say an investigation check, like another one, just to kind of see if you could find that one that you might be able to try something with in your Druidcraft, and then we'll do an Arcana check to see how well that Arcane works for it. John.
well, seeing as he's too focused, I fully understand that he's busy and need to um doesn't want to stop looking for his friend. I know that's not what you're doing, but I assume that's what you're doing. uh, so just to not bother him, I just concentrate a moment, and two glowing wings sprout from my back, and I fly up to him and lay my hand on the where I saw him getting stabbed, and use cure wounds
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet.
to cure him.
Do you want to do that investigation check for me, John? See if you can find this air pocket.
12 health.
Ooh, unnatural 20. Dirty 20.
Nice.
How much
Well,
health?
and you got 12 health.
12.
Does that bring you back to full?
That actually brings me back up to full. Nice.
Nice, nice. So I would say that injury that you would have had, because you kind of addressed it now until your long rest, since it brought you back to full, it's completely healed. So like you feel like that scar wound essentially. You feel this kind of warm hand on your back, on
I
your
have
leg
plus
as it
4 to
completely.
medicine too. I would imagine I'm probably able to dress it myself.
You could've.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's for
Probably.
sure. And that's where you using that hit dice you had taken that time to, but you had yet not, you have yet to take in that medicine check, right?
Yeah.
So this is where he had used his cure wounds to now instead of having to do that, you feel that that pretty gruesome. Could have been a scar.
Hey,
Is not
greasy
because you know
boy.
is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
the greasy boy.
Guess what?
chicken butt.
I figured out the streams. I'm only streaming on one platform, but onto two different, or on one
We finally got a little bit figured
things,
out.
but to two platforms and not multi. Yeah, I figured it out. It took forever.
I believed
some
in
of it.
you.
I know you did. No one else did.
I was the only one.
So,
I was here.
Andrew, just sorry, Insaniac.
Yes.
So I know for myself, you're using the healing surges and slow natural healing.
I'm not going to reveal all of the things I'm using. So far, I just introduced this one.
That's literally the ones you just introduced.
Yeah.
I
You know,
The
as
healing
a game
surge-
master, you
the
should
heal-
probably label out the rules of your game.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Healing surge I have not introduced yet. What I'm talking
True,
about is
true.
part
I
of
know.
is my
Dude, I'm
setup
just
into
being
the
a
slow
dick.
natural healing.
I'm just being a
I
dick.
got you. I got you. I have another homebrew rule that we're going to discuss when it comes across. I'm not going to say it right now. So
If it
it's
comes
just-
across.
Oh, is it
because
that one?
what you were talking about from what John did was
it's similar to healing surges, but I'm working it into to natural healing. I understand.
okay. I just wanted to double check.
I didn't like exactly what healing surge was. I didn't want to be so strict in that regard, you know. But yeah.
Cool. Anyway,
So Caden,
so
Caden, you missed
Did
a
we
bit
get
of
out of the cave?
Nope.
no,
So
so
as
all that's
so the
happened.
Wujin. So I'm gonna describe this right now. Just you guys can run him down in a hot second as it's gonna happen in game. As the Wujin is sitting here staring at this weird, odd ring that's like. Caden, can you describe to me what your ring looks like?
Waffles ring looks like a small gold ring with a red gem on the on top of it, with a compartment inside it.
Okay. So he the Wujin kind of looks at it for a bit because he was just before he got here. He's checking it out. So he kind of smiles a little bit, and all of a sudden this kobold pops out, and Caden, the kobold you had saw fall, or the gith you had saw fall through the hole in the wall is now holding your hand for a handshake, essentially, and he says, "Oh, good to meet you." He doesn't move.
Trying to get in.
You want to what?
I need to fix my voice.
You
Oh,
two
okay.
are a little quiet.
Yeah, you're a bit quiet, but you're all right. trying to hiss it in.
Looking down.
I meant Waffles' voice.
Oh,
There we go.
perfect. I haven't
There we
spoken
go.
yet.
Glancing down at hearing all this, I call out, "Ah, the other glorious adventurer! How wonderful to meet you!
I'm
What
meeting
might
him for the
your
first
name
time
be?"
as well. The gith kind of says as well, looking up. What is your name, sir? I think he cut out for that.
I can't do the voice tonight.
That's okay. That's totally fine. You don't have
Waffle.
to. Waffle.
Waffle, that is a glorious name.
You see the gith, he kind
Waffle.
of he tilts his head. He's like, "Nice to meet you, Waffles." As you look at this gith Yankee now with the or Githzerai, sir, but you're not too familiar with. But I'm going to confirm it for everyone else out there.
How edible does his hand look?
That depends. I'll tell you as I finish my description. You can decide how edible his hand looks. As you look at him, he's got a series of kind of. He looks mostly bald, except he's got like a half kind of like whiter-ish, like but somehow goldenish tint. So like he's got like almost like a half man bun, and he's got like black dots with a. Shut up.
That is what I'm hearing. I
With
feel
a-
like that
with
little
a-
voice in my
a
head is
orange-
telling me to bite him.
Orangish crystal, as he's got a various of black, yellow, red and different colorful robes, with gold adornments and yellow, and he's got this. You when he bows, you notice he has this blue gemmed kind of chrome silverish necklace around his neck, and he seems to have a series of other adornments on his clothing. His hand, it just seems like an older. It doesn't look like very like you'd think fresh, like for this guy, he doesn't seem to have like a lot of meat on his bones in that regard. His hand doesn't feel bony, but it doesn't feel cold either. Like you know,
That muscle would be succulent
and
between your lips.
like you, it feels frail in a sense, but it feels firm when he grabs your hand. Like he
Damn right
doesn't
it feels
like.
firm when he grabs your hand.
So you're free to.
If it helps, nat 20 for a bite attack against the hand.
Okay.
Because Waffle's hungry.
Yeah, no problem. Go to take you. You definitely hit. Roll
For the
damage.
delicious bite of delicious.
What would I roll for that?
What are you just randomly biting him?
I don't have a bite attack. I'm just asking
Oh.
what I would roll for it.
Kobolds don't have a bite attack. Okay.
I know it's weird.
It's going to be an unarmed strike. So what's your strength mod?
It would be an arm strike, yeah. So it'd just be
8.
8. Your strength mod is 8.
Or
What?
sorry,
That doesn't
negative
make
1.
sense.
What?
I was gonna say that doesn't make sense at all.
Okay. So you
You're
go
level 2.
you go to bite him, and like he just kind of looks at you as he's like, "Oh, you're
What-
cute," and he
what
like
did
he puts his other hand as you bite his one hand. He pats you on the other hand, and he says, "Good old Danzan takes well care of his minions. I see."
Wouldn't that make more sense
Uh,
if like Hurt broke his own tooth? Bites down. Ah!
Yeah, it probably would, because as a kobold, you don't really, maybe your teeth aren't so great, so you
Kobolds
feel like when.
being-
So seeing
I mean, you
that,
just went down in the
I'd
wrong direction. You got -1 damage, so it doesn't really didn't hurt you, but it didn't make you feel good
Oh, I
either.
healed him.
You definitely didn't.
so seeing that, I'd fly down. No, my friend, that is not a glorious thing to do.
You see him
Please
just
do
patting him
not
on the head,
attack.
like, oh,
Are
he's,
you
he's
hurt, my
quite
friend?
He's quite harmless. He says as he pats him on the head. You'll see.
Oh well, that is a great
Is-
relief to hear.
Do I keep looking?
Yeah. So with your investigation check, you didn't tell me what your investigation was. Well, you would have seen
Dirty
this while you were
20.
getting. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, you did tell me. That was my bad. I forgot. Yeah. So as you're looking around, you did find probably one kind of sense of a crack. You've noticed a series of them have like they all sound to kind of exude air in one way or another, but this one seems to be a lot more direct, I guess, and it feels a little more powerful based on your Outlander kind of knowledge of things. And since it now, well, you can start rolling an Arcana check if you'd like to start using your Druidcraft. The sensory effect is going to. I'm going to tell you now, it's going to take a bit for it to kind of affect what you're hoping for.
My
But you can do
character's-
it.
My character's patient ranger.
That's cool, yeah.
No reason to not be patient about it.
Yeah. So essentially, you pretty much slowly start the rain clouds in this area, and it slowly
but
starts
it's
to
just
drip.
a small little area, right? So like I would just
Yeah.
try
So it's just where you feel a sense of where the wind is coming from, and you're holding your hand up about it. So the area starts to get a little like moist and humid, almost like it's kind of like a sauna,
yeah.
and it starts to drip like
That's
one by
actually
one,
exactly
slowly
what
into
I
your
want.
hand.
Like just
Yeah.
to anyway. So I'll roll my Arcana.
Your Arcana will depend on how well and how long it might go.
The best roll. Well, let's see what I get. I don't think I got a bonus to it. Yeah, +0. I rolled a 12.
Okay. Yeah, you're steady on it. It feels you're it's gonna take you a minute or two
That
in a
makes
certain
sense.
sense.
I'm not
But
exactly
it's-
magically inclined, even though I'm a fairy. I'm just,
Yeah, and it's hard to really even tell how deep the mountains are, because when you walked into here, the mountain, like the cave, wasn't very what you'd sense deep, but these systems connected to a series
Well,
of
how
mountains
far did we go again?
into the cave.
Yeah. Would it be more?
It's hard to
feasible?
say. You
Yeah,
weren't
that's
quite
what I thought.
you
It was
weren't
hard
quite
to say. That's why.
yeah, you weren't quite judging it, but you did go in a series of moments that you could say it wasn't deep, but like
That's why I
you're
didn't
not
think
far
it-
from the surface.
That's why I didn't think it would be too feasible to go back the way we came. Yeah, that's why.
There's a lot of options here. It's a possibility.
Perfect.
I'm not knocking it out. So
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, Kobold sitting here trying to chew on the the Woojin's finger as he looks around at the cave and he's kind of looks like this is an odd situation. And he looks,
I look at Waffle. My friend, if you're so hungry, let me share my rations with you. I start digging
What
through.
is this thing talking to me now?
so
Uh,
yeah, if you want to describe yourself, yeah.
So, in front of
As
you
he
is
flies down.
a young-looking
Whose hair is
boy with
as
long,
light.
flowing golden hair, which is very, very bright, and he's got his
Seems to be
eyes
a
are
light source.
glowing white, and he's got white glowing wings, and
So does this one look tasty? Like a
I
giant
mean,
fried chicken almost, eventually?
I mean, do you want to describe a bit more about your clothing and armor?
he's wearing pure white um,
Feathers.
chainmail and a uh,
They're like spectral ones.
billowing.
They're not exactly like
Golden
angel.
boots.
No, no, not golden boots.
And he's got this blue
Very fine
billowing coat.
leather boots and epically billowing blue cloak. Sorry.
And yeah, he just kind of holds his hand out to you. Well, he seems to be holding out food to you, actually. So the food in his hand looks
What
like
are you
it's pretty
handing,
edible.
or what are you holding out to Waffle?
It probably looks like dried. It looks
Elven
like pretty
bread.
dry.
It's
I
dried
wouldn't say
elven's bread.
I wouldn't say it's elven bread, but it probably looks like pretty fancy bread. It's dry, but it doesn't look like it doesn't look too fancy in a regard. Like it
Don't
seems
waste
like
it
it's
on
town.
Gollum.
It seems like township kind of like bread, like normal. Like you're a kobold and you're used to kind of like you've made like probably pitas and kind of things like that. But you've seen like this is like whole bread kind of deal, you know.
He's handing me a whole loaf of bread.
Not
Like
really,
stale bread.
like a piece of it, and it looks like it's actual like good bread.
It's a bit of dried bread and a bit of dried fruit.
And probably a fruit and maybe like probably some jerky.
No, no, no. He doesn't have any jerky.
That would be part of your trail mix, but that's up to you to if you want to ration that out if you like.
He doesn't have any.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Dirty vegan.
Okay. That's it's interesting. That's good to know. Good to know.
Dirty vegan.
Waffle will look at your hand and your offerings to the Great Waffle and walk away
Where do you walk
to
away
the other
to? And
to the other side of the cave.
I'm sorry, my friend. I did not mean to offend you.
His nose up.
I will attempt to learn more about you so that I do not unintentionally offend you again. Please accept my most sincere apologies.
I think Waffle you'd hear in your head as you walk away. Did you enjoy your time with your friend?
Waffle around, trying to figure out who said that.
Waffle goes
mean-
crazy. Get out of my head!
I mean, you look around and you see the angel man looking at you, trying to like just apologize. You see the fairy staring at the roof, and the Wujin kind of like he's looking at the cave in, but he's not really looking in your direction, but you could see him kind of like he can see you.
Or can't he? Have you ever tried to look through a Wujin's eyes?
Waffle gives
Or
up on trying
she's-
to figure out who it was. He's not the brightest.
Does he think anything when he says that?
No.
No, he just doesn't. Okay, like well
all
then.
all that would be in Waffle's head is meat, meat, meat.
And I think you'd hear in response, I'm sure he promises much meat. Meat this way, as you feel like you, in that kind of sense, you feel like a force kind of shake the room as you look and you see the Wujin has put out. You see him because you're looking in that direction. He had put his palm backwards, and he had pushed forward, and you watch this flash of light as it pushes a piece of like almost the cave in backwards a bit. Like it looks like the dirt kind of moves, but it doesn't really It's hard to explain. It doesn't go anywhere, but it crushes into itself, and then some of it falls away. The sand.
Oh, Waffle can do that. Nat 20 for Eldritch Blast.
Sure. You're aiming at the wall or him.
At the wall.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. You never know with you.
No,
Sometimes.
we've only murdered one person.
Yeah. True. Did you take any of the loot? Well,
No, I ate him, or I would have been eating him.
You would have attempted to try, but then you got in an argument with the entity in your ring, and you disappeared. So you haven't had a chance to eat this guy yet. And you'd heard just before you'd heard some static coming in through it, and it seemed like somebody was trying to like talk to the end. It seemed kind of femalish, but you didn't really get a chance to hear it before this entity in your ring started yelling in your brain. And then you disappeared into the ring.
Oh, okay.
So he's still there. You would have had time to grab anything from that loot, but you definitely would have had time to eat him. Not yet, anyways.
I'll roll for damage against the wall.
Yeah, do it up. What did you get?
Nat 20.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So double die.
Yeah.
17 force damage against the wall.
Very good. Right. You see like a chunk of the wall as you hit it from the coalescence of does your magic come from your ring? Is like you do like a power fist kind of like shot or
No, we've been over this. It comes straight out of his mouth. He hisses and it shoots.
right. Okay, I got you. I forgot. Yeah, you go as you like
He shoot
shoot
the
this.
whoops it.
You shoot the whoops. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot he fires his laser. As you hit it, you see a fraction, not the entire set of stone that he had put, but you see a good chunk of the stone kind of like hits and kind of crumbles, and a number of the other stones above it kind of fall. Not the whole thing kind of cave, but parts of the integrity of some of the shit falls away as some of the other stones disintegrate.
Parts of the integrity.
It's not affected, is what I'm saying. Like it's just the rubble that's in the way.
Not the tegrity.
Not the integrity weed. And yeah, the Wujin, he's like, very good, as you hear in your mind as he looks at you and kind of winks. And then you see him kind of widen his hand back, and as he pushes forward as another path clears the way. And you guys hear and see the flash of lights and cave shaking, but not like crumbling. Like you don't feel like, not like the sound that it had caused the cave in. You just feel a series of rumbles and see the flashes of the dirt kind of getting hit with damage and just falling apart into sand.
If I were to use detect good and evil, would this guy feel good or evil?
Sorry, we'll get to you in a sec, Caden. What did you want to do, Jan?
I was just saying, a wonderful plan, my friends. But are you not worried that you might bring the rest of the cave down on us?
The Wujin kind of stops, and Caden, when you register that detect, you don't exactly detect good or evil, but you do feel this kind of evil like pull around him. Not like it's you've seen evil characters as someone who's been through the wasteland and who operates with the entity you kind of do. You understand when someone gives off that kind of nature. And this character, not that he gives it off, you can tell he seems to be neutral in a sense, but something evil is around him. Not him, though.
So he's evil neutral?
You're not the one to interpret that. And I'm not going to be the one to give that away, because it doesn't give that much sense on the spell.
Okay.
And so,
figure out what I think is happening.
Okay, so since you're a warlock, we'll roll an arcane check. I'll give you advantage on it.
Oh, I was just gonna roll insight. See if I.
You can do either or. You could do either or. Arcane will give you
really
a more
want
magical
Arcana,
sense. It's
I'll
up to
do
you. It'll give you
arcane
more
then.
magical sense. Insight will give you more of a glean at how he's been presenting himself personally.
Well, that would be a 21 for Arcana.
Okay. Giannis, he kind of looks at you and he says, he looks and says it out loud like, "Oh, just stick with me and we'll be fine. I've gotten out of worse than this before."
That is most wonderful to hear, my friend. Glorious, even.
Indeed. Little one, you can stop doing that, but I think that might work one day. Feel free to join us if you like. I'll be out in a short moment. You gain the art when you kind of look at him, Arcana sentence wise. You said 21.
Yes.
Okay, and so your because your entity is kind of a primordial sense. What other languages do you speak? Because this might kind of aid to that. Depending.
Common and Draconic.
That's all I got. Okay, so the
I
so
also
from
understand animals.
yeah, so from in a sense of the way that you're kind of feeling it, so you feel this evil in a sense, and you kind of understand what it means to be evil, and you don't looking at this character, you don't feel like there's evil in him, but perhaps maybe he's cursed by it, or maybe something is following him. But you don't sense that himself is evil. He seems neutral in a sense. He doesn't give off good or evil in any regard. But it seems like there's something about him that magically is on him that is giving him that feeling.
Yeah, that gives me enough. I know exactly what it is now.
Being of the draconic nature, you sense it. You have an idea of what this evil nature might look because draconics kind of have that innate drag on this evil
You mean
specifically.
that unique
Draconics
drag
have this.
on?
I'm glad you heard it too. I don't know if you meant that. That was
There's
pretty
there's
good.
there's a number of ways that this. Well, I mean, in the language that you speak, there's
That it
there's
drags on.
no that there's two very direct energy forces from good or evil and what those look like for a dragon and how they're used in their induction of how they communicate. So, for someone who understands what the good version of a draconic is, and someone who probably understands, in a primordial sense, as you understand beasts and like that nature of sense, and what evil looks like, you feel that. I wouldn't say Tiamat, but you feel that dragon kind of rage attached to this character, but it's not like I said. It doesn't feel like it's him,
Dragon Rage.
but it's similar of that nature. But that's kind of what you gain from that. He, as he talks, he calls out to the pixie. Would you like to leave today, or would you like to leave in a few days?
I'd look down, look around.
You look around and you see this dead body that's lying there. There seems to be like
I'd
he's
fly
pretty torn
down.
apart. But you also see this nest of like an egg or two. One of them seems to be broken. One of them seems to be okay.
I'd fly down and probably cut off with my knife like the foot of the dead guy, throw it in the middle, and then light it on fire and create a little campfire out of it. And sit down
Yeah.
and listen.
You're gonna just make a campfire to this guy's foot.
Well, yeah, Druidcraft allows me to make a campfire with material components.
Oh yeah, I got you. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not doubting
I
you
have-
and your magical capabilities.
I need a material component, so the
I'm
only ones around
just-
is the foot. So
I'm just asking in confirmation that this is what you're doing. So
I
where do
have-
you want to set up this
right,
campfire?
I said right in the middle of everyone. Just and literally
Okay,
throw
so-
this severed foot in front of everyone, and then light it on fire and this campfire.
So you just
and
kinda sit there and start camping out, and you put up a fire, and you start looking. The Woojin kind of looks at you and says, "I guess keeping warm is very important." And he turns around and he starts hitting the wall again. As I don't know if the kobold keeps shooting, but he hits the wall another time. And you feel when he gets to this hit, you see and you remember Pixie and Kobold,
Pixie
where
and
the
Kobold.
Pixie and
Excuse
Kobold.
me,
Which-
it's Rainbow Pixie.
I'm calling you by the races you've chosen. So
That's racist.
That is exactly what it
Rainbow
is. Thank
Pixie
you.
Starshine, thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy you know that. That's the point.
And that's a waffle
Congratulations.
to you.
Congratulations, boys. As the curve you had remembered where you had turned into the nest, you see the stone that he had pushed. It doesn't this time. It doesn't disintegrate to sand. You see the stone physically get pushed into the wall, and where the stone
what?
by when he pushes with the force, the same ability that he's been using
Oh, so it's
against the wall.
magically being pushed.
Would you like to make an arcane check?
When you say physically, I imagine there's something there pushing it.
I didn't say
I just
physically. I
imagine
said
that
the
he's
force that
going
he's
up to
using.
the wall and pushing as hard as he can, and it's just
Ooh,
moving.
18.
You see him take what looks to be like a martial arts stance as he does what seems to be a series of like punching methods, and as he puts his palm flat, you see this white wave kind of shake across the whole wall, and that's how things have
he's
been
a
happening.
monk.
As he pushed this final one is the way I'm saying it's instead of disappearing, you see the stone meld into the other stone that is already there. It doesn't fall into sand like the other ones have, as he's been previously doing. This stone instead gets pushed by the force of his hand wave, and it disappears into the stone. It doesn't crumble. It just falls backwards into it as if it had already been part of it to begin with. And he kind of like puts his hands down and he like did. So did you do an arcane check?
I did. I got an 18.
18. You kind of feel like there is a sense of magic behind it, but it doesn't. The effects itself don't feel magical, and it's like it feels odd to you. This creature you haven't really encountered before, so it's hard to really pin down what kind of source he's bringing to the table. But you do recognize, as someone who's had to stay out of land, some of his martial abilities, you might gain the sense of that. Yeah, he might be a monk. He might be utilizing a form of ki.
Okay.
And he gets to that. We get to that curve in the wall. He puts his hands down and he starts kind of he like puts his hands down on his legs and rubs his legs and he shakes his hand. It's like, whew, I am not as young as I used to be.
Oh.
And he looks at you and he says, "Why do I seem to be doing all the heavy lifting? My goodness,
'Cause you're
boys,
Master Roshi.
Master who?"
I did not say that out loud to
You
you.
sure that sounds
But
like
it's
it.
pretty obvious that you're Master Roshi.
As he says that, my character starts blushing and says, "Oh, I'm so very sorry. That's not a very glorious thing of me to do.
My goodness,
let me
lad,
help."
you hear the back of your head. Help the old man. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yes, I'm sorry, grandfather. Please, I'll do better. And I
I'd lay
rush
down.
towards the cave in and start trying to pull out rocks.
So do you lay down by you start pulling out rocks. Normally strength check. Do you lay down by the foot campfire you've established?
Yeah, and I keep watching them. I'm just
Okay.
like lounging, like literally like. As soon as he asks for help, I'd like shuffle and like look like I'm getting up and just lay down.
What is the kobold doing right now?
You said that the old guy is wearing a amulet of some sort.
Yeah. It seems to be
How
like a silver chrome
shiny is
amulet. It's got a very bright blue yellow stone, and you can feel it gives off some kind of magical nature. Just being a warlock of which you are.
First,
But I'm
strength check
curious
or
to where
athletics
you
check?
are. Yeah, we'll do a strength check, but if you're planning to do a little bit more than one, I'm guessing, right?
Strength or athletics?
If you're doing a bit more than one boulder, I'll say athletics. If you're just trying to
Okay.
do one to look fancy, then
Oh no, not never look just to look.
Fancy.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I don't know.
I'm
I
just
don't know
here to
how to
look
do.
fancy.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted to pick up the biggest boulder and then just put it down and be like, "Whew, that was my day's work, guys." Like I was gonna let you have it if you wanted to do it, but I just
I can't take it anymore.
So did you see? Can you check
Yes,
the
athletics.
message I sent you on Facebook?
I briefly saw it as it popped up. I did not read the whole thing.
This is the first one.
Oh, yeah, sure. I figured it might be like your armor or your cloak, but yeah.
So before I go to this wall, I pull out my mirror and look at myself in the reflection for a few moments, and I
Can
seem
you
to
roll me a
grow a
perception
little.
check for that? Just as a curious
For
thing. To see
looking
if
at
it-
yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, well, there's details when you look in a mirror. You don't know it might see in your reflection. So,
We were
um,
all just kobolds all
uh,
along.
I'm curious. What is the kobold doing? Where is the kobold? Did he follow with the guys? Did he stay in the room with the nest?
Uh,
Are you sitting by the campfire?
What is the kobold doing?
Kobold is sneaking, being a sneaky boy. I will
Okay,
say that.
okay,
9
so
on perception.
you were in a corner of the room by the nest. So yeah, we'll roll a stealth check.
Waffle wants that amulet.
Okay. What was your check,
Sounds
sir? Yeah.
about right.
9.
For
Nice.
stealth, I rolled a 23.
23. All right, cool. Yeah, so 9, you kind of you see this weird like bright reflection off of like when you tilt the mirror off of the gith in the background, but you immediately kind of adjust to be like, oh, it like it blinds you for a second, and then you have to like readjust the mirror and like you kind of look at yourself like as you were planning to do.
As I look in the mirror, I look a little bit buffer, a little bit less frail, and
Are you sure about that?
I use my channel divinity, peerless athlete.
All right, cool. Does that give you advantage on athletic check?
Advantage on athletics, and I can carry, push, drag, and lift twice as much weight as normal for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, so as you look in the mirror and you kind of hear that, you hear the because you're like, man, I gotta really like impress this guy. I don't know who he is, but he looks like he's doing shit that I could do, but I gotta do the same thing, right? And then you hear this old man in the back of your head. He's just like, you can do it, Chad. You just gotta believe in yourself, Chad. You're the Chadliest of Chads of Chad, the Chadliest line. You have to dig deep.
I just realized
Dig
that.
into
Chad
the
Chaddington?
stones.
He's the Chad.
No, I am no grandfather. It's Chadiest Chad.
Oh,
24.
believe in yourself, Chad. The Chadliest. You could be the Chaddiest of Chads. He's like,
Whenever
don't mind me. My mind slips sometimes, son.
whenever I talk to grandfather, it is always out loud.
I honestly figured it would be. I honestly also feel like these characters just don't pay attention to
I know.
acknowledge half these things, anyways.
24 on.
I mean, I'm listening and I pay attention and I appreciate it.
24. Nice. Yeah, so you start kind of digging out some of the rocks. Because this area, it looks a bit smaller than where you came from. It looks like it fits like probably a medium-ish, just a large-sized creature is maybe like 20 feet tall, like 30 feet-ish wide, maybe 20 feet. It's not like large, but it's definitely a bit different of dimensions from where you just came from. And it looks like it kind of it like spirals open a bit more, but you're not sure. And yeah, you start fucking hucking rocks back and forth like it's nothing. And so the kobold seems to squirrel away as I'm imagining. Can you have a climbing speed?
If you want me to, yeah.
I'm asking you.
That's up to you to decide. Would you like me to have climbing speed?
All right, you're gonna make me look this up, huh?
I don't think. Oh no, I don't think kobolds have a climbing speed.
I don't think they do either.
That's why I'm asking if you want me to have a climbing speed.
Honesty is the best policy, sir.
Yeah.
I'm asking you what you would prefer.
Well, you don't have a climbing speed, so
He would have
How do
preferred
you
to
proceed?
be honest.
how do you
I was asking a question.
how do you go about sneaking? As you to the area of where the mystic and wonderfulest Githy man is standing
he's a
is
mystic,
between. I know I baited it too. I fell for that one. Fucking Jesus.
Thank
But he's a Wujin. You're welcome. I figured
you.
you don't know this, sir.
What?
You don't know
I
how
don't
deep.
know nothing.
You don't know how deep this goes.
Do I not
Um,
know how deep the rabbit hole goes?
God.
Wait,
Yeah.
you don't
okay.
know how deep he goes?
All right.
Oh, it goes deep.
So there's a pixie and a campfire. There's a pixie and a campfire
Yeah,
between
there
this
is.
entranceway. So I would like to hear your description of how you attempt to sneak. And Pixie, I'd love for you to roll a perception check.
For what?
The sneaky kobold.
Is he trying to sneak on me?
He's sneaking
Oh,
That
I
that
could
means
give
to
a fuck.
everybody. That doesn't matter. You are still rolling perception to see if you see him or not. That
I-
your choice to ignore him is up to you.
So
I'm telling you, you need to roll perception.
because he's my buddy, I would choose to fail. It's like ignore him.
I'm not. This isn't a check that you get to decide on, sir.
Then I would
Perception check.
take my passive.
Yeah, when did be passive?
I'll take my passive, which is 14.
All right. I was gonna ask regardless, because this isn't a passive. This is you sitting at a campfire with bright light. If he was in the dim light, that because he hasn't described how he's going across this sneakily. So
I mean, I can see him, but like
you don't know
if
that
you
right
want,
now. So.
I rolled a nat 1, so
Okay.
I'll take the nat
Again,
1.
Fire looks pretty cool.
It wasn't about if you saw him or not. If you saw him, you were free to say, I'm not gonna say or do anything about it. That's not
I rolled a nat 1. There you go.
Congratulations. Thank you. That yes, thank you. Anyways, so do you want to describe, Caden, as you continue to sneak past and how you do so? Because you can't climb on walls. As you sneak past this campfire.
Well, I will crawl on the ground then, since I can't climb walls.
Whereabouts would you like to crawl from?
From where I'm standing, I drop down and start crawling and slithering along the floor.
I got you. So to get to where he is standing, the man you wanted to stake this necklace from, he is on the other side of this campfire, which radiates a certain amount of light. Now you might be able to sneak past the oblivious pixie, which is totally fine. And that's why I'm just asking you to describe, because this pixie is sitting. He hasn't described it where. I don't
Along
imagine
the
he's sitting
walls.
against. I don't think he's okay. So he's sitting. He's leaning up against something. Is this your pack or is this the wall?
What?
Pixie.
The wall?
Okay. So one of the walls has the pixie leaning up against it, with the campfire not too far from it, and the other one is bare. There's nobody on that side.
Go again along the other wall.
Okay. Yeah, I just would like to get an idea where you're going. So that way, I mean, obviously the pixie's too enthralled with the smell of cooking meat. As
Yeah, that's
you
it.
kind of smell it too, but I know. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. You're not paying attention, so that's why you're not paying attention. And you kind of smell the meat, but you're not really interested in the meat. You know that. You like, ooh, shiny. Okay.
Following the big lizard. Since that's the only thing he knows.
Gotcha. And yeah, so Chad is unloading stuff. The rocks are like falling behind. They're smacking down. Lujan kind of looks. He's like, that's good work, young man. As he like claps and he kind of like turns to kind of like look around. He says, well, if you wish to hide on that side of the wall, you can have that side. As you see, this stone section of the wall slides up, and you seem to be in the cave with, instead of a rock slide, a bare, flat piece of earth that is now crossing from the pixie side. He is inside this nest area by himself.
The pixie is?
Yes, you are not. But I would like you to make a dex save to see how quickly you get across. You're still being sneaky, so you're all good on that. But
A dex check or a dex save?
dex save.
That would be a 14.
14. Alrighty. Yeah, you're just as you're going, you feel like your foot kind of like flip in a weird way. It not so much like you get a bit of damage. You feel you get 4 points of like bludgeoning damage because you feel like as you're trying to sneak between that wall, you feel it go up and it pinches your skin a little bit. You're not like hurt, but it's like
And I'm down.
you get knocked out by 4 damage.
I don't know. Do I? I sent you my character sheet.
What was your damage at before?
I had full health.
You had 4 health.
That's
Are you
really
full health?
funny.
Yeah, at full health. Because you
Yeah, I am fine.
Did I
You
get knocked
didn't-
down? You're at full health. Yeah, but do I get knocked down?
Jesus.
Because I want to get back up again. Because nothing's
You're never
going
going
to
to
keep
keep
me down.
him.
I was listening to that song today.
Yeah, so you've only taken like a little bit of health, a little bit of damage. I remember
You've
you've
only
only
t-
gotten hit. You've only gotten hit by the one dude.
I
think
never
it was
got
the
hit.
one twice. You definitely got hit at least once.
No, I blew him up with fire of
He
the
definitely-
real dragons.
He definitely got a hit on you.
I
He got a
never got
crit.
much
He got a
damage.
crit on John, and he got a hit on you. I know that for sure. And it was not a lot. It was well, we're all damaged now because you don't remember. Fine. That was that. So it'll be this guy. That was 5 points of damage. Is what you would have taken. With the 4 points of damage, you're at 9 total damage from your total health.
Okay,
I don't think you're unconscious.
not yet.
But yeah, Pixie, while you're sitting there with your campfire and kind of leaning and looking at, these guys dig away, a section of the wall literally slides up and quarantines you off into this nest area by yourself in the little campfire.
Oh shit.
As he looked at you and talked to you when he said what he said. I don't know if you remember what I said.
No, I heard him.
And we never saw the pixie again.
Oh, comes out of the cave a week later after dripping water for a month out of the roof of the cave. Survived off these 2 eggs in the nest alone, and the bear
the
shit
dead
he's had,
body.
and the dead body and the bear shit he's had in his pack.
Hmm.
And like everyone else, Chad, you do feel the ground shake on the other side behind you as you look to see this wall, and all of a sudden, like the light you had from the campfire, now you are the only source of light in this room.
Oh, my friend. Why?
Yes,
Where
room
is our
shakes.
other friend? Why is he trapped behind that wall? Did another enemy appear and throw up this wall? Where is he?
He like shakes his hand. He says, "Those who make themselves useful will be useful." We'll see if he decides otherwise. I have not yet decided myself. As you were, as he shakes towards the wall.
But my friend, would it not be better to just ask him why he is not being helpful? Maybe he's hurt more than I thought. Maybe there are deeper internal wounds that need to be fixed as well.
He like puts his hand on your shoulder, like kind of as you're talking, and that's you finish. Then he puts his hand beside your face and like pinches your cheek. He says, "You're very cute when you worry, young man, but perhaps you should worry about us and our predicament."
Isn't our predicament his predicament as well? He was searching so hard for a way out. Perhaps he's tired and resting before he helps us out more.
If he has the means to escape, he seems very capable. Magic folk are very haughty, as they say, as he like gives you a wink. I would know, as he like kind of like snaps his finger. Nothing really happens, but he just kind of
Actually-
snaps his finger.
I know. I'm just going to.
I probably.
I kind of look at him a little oddly. Is that what they say?
Well, what they say is whatever you wish to say, he says with a smile. What did you like to do?
Well, I would
But-
wait a bit, and if nothing happens, like if the door doesn't, like, I'd probably get up and examine the rock wall that came up.
Your passive was 14, you said?
Yeah.
So you do hear a series of like mumblings from the other side, like, but it sounds like mostly Chad, and a few kind of faint like murmurs here and there.
But why does it matter what I want them to say if that is not what people truly say? Voice cracks are hard to do.
He kind of shakes his head. See, this is good. Now you must decide what to say. As he learns around it, and he turns your shoulder and he points at the wall. Tell the wall what to say.
I look just utterly confused at that before
And he
turning
like
back to the wall and
he
start
like
working at it again.
if he like double pats you on the shoulder and he like looks around and he's like, things are different here.
Oof, I rolled terribly on my athletics that time. I only got a
And
10.
do you want to give me another stealth check?
Sure. 20.
20.
Dirty.
So in that time, what would you have liked to do? I feel like
Continue
since you haven't
crawling
said
and
that, you
sneaking.
kind of you just kind of crawl and sneak along. So he dusts his hands and kind of looks around, and he kind of like squints his eyes, and you see him kind of like look in your direction in a sense, but you couldn't really tell if he saw you or not, as he just kind of looks around and looks up at the stone. Like he looks like he gazed over in where you might have been, but it's hard to tell if he actually acknowledged your presence or not.
Oh, okay.
And
How
he
far
kinda,
away from him am I?
you would probably be about 15 feet, and he's not like looking at you. He's kind of turned back to Chad, which is like Chad is like at the wall, facing the wall, and he's like behind him. So you would be kind of like off to his left a little bit, so his right from where you're approaching,
Okay.
or from the right where you're approaching. Sorry.
Off to the
So it's
left.
15
of
feet to your right.
Chad.
Okay. Well, I will move my 15 feet closer to him and try to take the necklace.
Okay. Well, we'll roll another stealth check.
Okay. Another dirty 20.
Oh boy. That's interesting. I gotta check something really quick.
Sweet, sweet cobalt luck.
Yeah, pretty handy. So your delta, and then we'll say roll a sleight of hand with disadvantage.
Oh, okay. That'll be a 22. I rolled a 19 and an 18.
Bad, not bad. Okay. And then, so as you kind of sneak up, in a sense, you see that he doesn't quite pay you too much of attention. But as you kind of reach forward and go to make like a grab towards the necklace, you kind of get like a claw around it, but then you feel your foot kind of slip, and you need to make a dex save.
Oh, okay. 10.
And then we'll do one more with that.
21.
21. All right. So as you kind of reach, you see the stone kind of on his forehead seems to glow a little bit, and the your foot, as you kind of like reach to that you were leaning on to reach up and grab, seems to slip down, like you drop like a step
How
unexpectedly,
tall
like on
is
an
this
escalator.
person, by the way?
He's not like he's definitely taller than you. He's about,
'Cause I'm only 2 feet tall.
yeah, he's about like 4-ish feet, almost going to 5. So you're, like I said, it's
He
you
towers
honestly.
over you.
He's pretty fucking tall in comparison to you. So like I said, you get a like you're reaching on your toes to grab it. As you get a claw around it, you feel that one foot drop down like an escalator, kind of like shifting the stair that you didn't expect. And then you try to like you try to catch
What's an
yourself as you
escalator?
stumble. I'm explaining it to you, sir, instead, not your character. As you feel your foot fall down 5 feet into a step, and you go to save and balance yourself. Instead of falling on your ass, you manage to kind of like tiptoe a little back, And you see the Wujin kind of looks at you and he kind of smiles. He says, "Oh, I have not forgotten about you, little one. Perhaps you will be of use yet." As he smiles. But keep those fingers to yourself, he says. As he like waves one finger in the air like a scolding parent.
You said the amulet's metallic, correct?
It looks like it. Do you want to
Okay.
do like a nature check to identify it?
Uh, sure. A nature check?
Yeah, to identify the type of metal that it is.
I'm so great at nature. That is a 3.
3. It's you think it's metallic. It's hard to kind of if you're not really sure.
Did it feel metallic when I touched it?
Considering the things that happened in the roll that you got, it's hard to tell.
Okay.
You didn't hold on to it long enough to really get an idea of what you were touching. It's shiny though. Even in this darkness, it's still pretty shiny.
You mean with my dark vision?
Yeah, I mean it's still pretty dark in the area, even though you have dark vision. You also have this
Biggest
guy
area?
with this guy with glowing white hair. Um, the area to the roof is probably about 20 feet tall right now.
But
And this little kind of...
the area from me to them.
Oh, he's like 10 feet from you.
Oh, it's
He's
bright
like right
light.
now.
It's bright light. Like I
Yeah,
can't remember. It's 10
yeah,
or 20
it's
feet from
pretty
me.
bright right now, but yeah.
Yeah, bright light for a 20-foot radius from me.
I would start investigating and knocking on that wall that the guy made.
Okay. Yeah, do an investigation check, or I'll let you do a performance check if you want to do that instead for your knocking, or one or after the other. It's up to you.
Ooh, net 20.
All right, investigation at 20,
My
unless you
investigation
wanted to.
plus 4, so that's 24.
Nice. You look at this stone as an outlander. This is strange in a sense to you. Like this looks like direct stone from the mountain. Like it looks like the same texture as the cave, but it's not the sand that you're walking on. And when you
Okay.
look at the way that it tilts to the roof, it when it hit the roof and sealed off, it didn't damage the roof. It didn't create any stone fall. It didn't adjust any of the structural like setup there. It literally like this section of the wall looks completely bare and completely sheer. Went straight up to the wall and matched and it seems to have blended in with the roof. It doesn't look like there's kind of a seam of where it like attached, but it doesn't look like it's because your check is really high. Like you were able to kind of notice that it's not completely together, but it is like almost exactly perfectly aligned with how the roof and the whole curvature of like this cave system looks to be. And then, what was your performance check to begin knocking on the wall if you'd like?
10.
10? you like you kind of tap on the wall once or twice. Your knuckles get a little sore, even though you're like not like it's hard for you, but you're like tired of tapping on stone. you know. But you do get a couple of taps, and say everyone can kind of roll. Well, Chad and Kate can roll a perception check.
9.
Added waffles. Waffles.
15.
15. All right. 15. You hear the series of tappings, and the other person kind of like looks around, and he's just like, huh, I think I hear water. As the Wujin kind of like puts his ear up to the roof.
Could I discern where the sound is coming from?
Yes, you definitely heard it back from the wall that it came from.
Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
I'm going to
Roll
try
and
to
check.
see what the wall is, what the secret of this wall is.
Secret of this wall.
That'll be a. Yeah. That'll be a 14.
14. 14 hits. We'll roll damage.
That is. That'll be 7 damage to the wall.
7 damage to the wall. Nice. John, I'll need you to make a dex save for me. And what's your spell DC? Aiden?
My spell save DC is a 13.
13. You didn't pass a 13.
I got a 17.
Nice. Yeah, you hear the kind of familiar as you like tap on the wall, and you're just like,
And I
oh
know
shit.
I
And
know
you
my
like,
I know my partner pretty well. When I hear that
yeah,
shoop de whoop sound,
yeah, you like move out of the way a little bit, and sure enough, this like small sized hole. It's genuinely just perfect enough for you to get through. Blows through through the stone in this weird kind of like blown out explosive pattern. As the Wuchen he looks down, he's like, that is the water I see. Uh, Speaking of which, this is taking much too long, Chad. And he like pats you on the shoulder. He looks at the two of you and like, my goodness, I thought you were capable, but that is all right. Let us away with this cave. As he like looks
I
at the
would
two of you and
stop at that and look at him and say, "Capable."
he
I
opens
tried
like
to find an
another.
exit to the cave, and what did you do? You all of a sudden
Capable.
magically open the cave. I try to set up a campfire to keep us warm. What do? Open away and just start leaving. It looked to me like you didn't need our help at any point so far.
You say that as he like opens another like water door,
Yeah,
and he and he's like, "Shall we?" As he looks at the two of you with his hands kind of closed.
My friend, if you could do that this whole time, why did you not?
Well, time is of the essence
Lazy.
some days, and it's hard to explain. Perhaps one day over some tea.
I'll tell you one thing, sir, is I don't like to be played around. And if we're going to continue with this, I think I'm owed an explanation. That
He
or
looks at you.
me and Waffles will find a new patron. Isn't
He
that right,
looks at you.
Waffles?
He,
Waffle nods
he looks at
enthusiastically.
He looks at you like the two of them, and he kind of says, like, well, if you would like to discuss further patronage of the Wujin, we can discuss this outside of such stuffy abodes, don't you think?
As soon as he says that, I look at him and just fold my arms.
If I remember correctly, there was a town around here, as he looks at Chad, and I had heard good things, but I I would love to see it, and perhaps we could find a place to discuss further. This cave simply does not do.
I would look at him and say, so where's the fruit?
He kind of looks like I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with this town.
Oh, where there's no fruit? I thought there'd be fruit since you're stalling so much.
He chuckles and he holds the door. The train only goes so long. I can only hold this door open for so long and do it so many times. Shall we go or shall we stay? Tick tick as he looks and
My character would go wherever he's pointing. Yeah. Arms
he
folded.
points to the door.
Did I just break you, Yawn, with that one?
I
Waffle
don't get
will
it.
A fruit stall.
Oh,
You didn't get that?
No, I
A
didn't.
fruit stall.
I definitely didn't get it, but that's fine.
I was thinking like Stalin.
And I'm gonna end this in a certain way if we can. Do you guys go through the door, or do you guys
course I
continue to
do.
scrutinize?
Yep. I will follow Rainbow Sparkle Pixie.
Bad. Your town awaits.
We're heading to my home. I'm sure my father could give all of you rooms. That'd be wonderful. I'm sure he'd be so glad to hear of my adventures.
That's the way, lad. Show him your hospitality. How great the Chads are, you hear in the back of your head. As like he's like, the others have left. I trust your hospitality, as the Hushin kind of talks to you.
Oh yes, of course. Sorry, I'm so sorry. And as I continue babbling, I step through the gate.
He follows through. As you guys, as the fairy and the kobold steps through, you guys see this essentially. You walk out to the same desert you had come out of earlier. You see your footsteps from so at least some of the people with footsteps, and you see a dead one of the other guys. I don't remember his name. You see a dead guy impaled upon a dead mouse. Yeah, Steve. Was it Steve? No, it
Yes,
was Phil.
Steve.
It was
It was
Phil.
Phil.
Yeah, it was Phil. Yeah,
Phil's
Phil.
dead.
You see Phil. Phil's there,
No, Phil.
and he looks like all of his equipment is gone.
Is his leg still there?
Yeah,
Yep.
all of his physical form is there.
I will
like
take
his
off
body.
his leg.
You jump out to see that, and then a brief moment later, Chad comes through. I want you guys to roll me a perception check. The first Pixie and Kobold as the first guys come out, and then Chad, I'll have you roll one too as you come out as well. Yours will be with advantage though for Chad.
13.
13.
7.
7.
I'm busy cutting off Phil's leg.
That's okay.
13.
Nom, 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 nom,
13.
nom, nom, nom.
Yeah, as you guys come out of the doorway, Chad, you kind of recognize the cave. You got like you remember being somewhere around here when like you got jumped. But as you look off into the direction of where you remember your town to be, you see a series of smoke and a series of black haze
He blew up the town.
in the distance of where you remember the smoke to be. And Pixie sees this black smoke too as he's kind of looking around, trying to take in the surroundings as the desert. You see, and you remember passing by the town.
I
when
would
you
look at
originally
Chad
came
and be
in here.
like, "Hey, that your town?"
I nod wordlessly and start running in the direction of the town.
And that's where we're gonna end off tonight.
Woo!
Woo.
Thank you
Yeah,
to
we'll
our
see.
viewers. Thank you all for watching.
We appreciate you all.
Thanks
you.
for the game, Insaniac. That was fun. I'm sorry you all had nothing better to do. I'm happy
We
you
appreciate you
spent
all.
it with us here. We are
Check
here
out
with the
us for
Greasy
all the
Boy,
wonderful things.
our DM
Social medias and links
Insaniac.
for you.
I am C4, and Jan the Jarl.
Jan the Jarl. We love you all. Thank you for watching.
We do. I'm
Check
so
out the link
glad.
tree.
Yarnold.
We're so happy we have you all out there.
You know
Have a
what?
good night.
Hey, Arnold.
Hey
Yarnold.
Arnold. Hey Arnold. Hey, it's Yarnold.